or a letter, then they just need to be aware of that, if that's protocol.
Well, I guess where I'm confused is why Yost has to get one and someone else doesn't. Because they're licensed, they don't have the proper license.
They didn't have a tasting license.
They have a license to sell,
Sell, but they don't
but
have
not
to taste.
consume on the premises. And there's a difference between a wine tasting and then like a bar has a consumption license and be able to serve. They're all different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
The things you didn't know about alcohol.
Yeah.
Anything else? If not, anything, business, new business, or reports?
I don't have any,
All right. Larry.
Was talking to the fire chief before the meeting, and some good things are happening. He went ahead and ordered some of the equipment he's going to need, because by the middle of next month, we're going to have a fire truck. So it's ahead of schedule, so he went ahead and ordered the stuff he'd need to go with it, and things are looking good.
Appreciate that. Karen.
Nothing this week, this month.
Jim.
Nothing tonight.
Angie. Doyle.
All right, yeah,
But Dad.
police department, I don't have yearly totals because dispatch changed their systems over and I can't get it. So, but the reports that the PD have on record, the actual calls that went to a report are 924. Last year was 777, so we're up on reports. McDaniel's asked me a question about cars, cameras in a car, the highway patrol are updating their systems. Them cameras will come available at a point in time when we can purchase them.
In place of the body cams having a dash cam, which is the most point of contact is made with the police officers.
If we have to buy them outright, before that, there's a few $1,000s, 3 times what we're asking for body cams. But if we can get them from the highway patrol, and make them change, we're looking at smaller numbers. We don't know till that comes available. Our new system took effect on the computer system on December 20th, correct? And it is in full swing now. It's in all cars as of this week. There's still a few glitches in it, but our car to station is about 90%, so we're 90% going to be in the car now. Instead of, we were running more in station for reports and stuff, now we kind of switched that over and we have more control time. And then there was a guy here, real hard, wanted to ask something for the police department.
I was talking to Rick, and I know the council had talked about, I know the funding is awful low, and I know the businesses are struggling with everything. And I offered to Rick to do some corporate searching. And a lot of times I asked Rick what his wish list was, and he was talking about the tasers here are old. Basically, when they go on a call, their only thing to use is either a gun or a plug. And so the liability for our officers are pretty great. And so I thought, what can we do? Because I know funding's low, and to be able to afford that is going to be pretty high. It's going to be about 1,400 officers. And you think 10, because they need backups and everything. And so procurement was a pretty good thing for me. In the city, I could do it pretty easy, talking to corporations. $1,400 for a corporation is a business deal. Because there's enough, like Cerner Corporation and stuff like that. So I asked if it was okay if I was able to do some research and try to get 10 corporations to fund that. Because to them, they have no problem helping out. So our fire department, I was able to get a brand new van for $1.
Don't wear them out, because we're going to be hitting them up with lots of money when this housing thing comes up.
Yeah, there's other ways to get that, because it is, I said, you just have to know the right people, you have to tell them what the needs are, and they'll help you. You just have to know where and how. But
Well, I think there's a lot of help available on this other
Yeah.
thing too. I just got to find it.
yeah, you go to places out there that do some of this stuff, they'll help you. And I just need the council's permission, talking to Rick, he's gonna give me some some ideas on what the funding is, or form right now, because you have to see the need with the police department, because almost all their funding goes out for salaries and equipment and stuff like that now. So you have to be able to go to them and say, okay, this is what they have, and they don't have enough for what they need.
For instance, our CAT system, what we're looking at, $8,000 body cams, I passed that off to you earlier, the wall coming down. I mean, these are mandatory things we have to do, we have to find money. So basically, you're wanting to go out and find this funding to get these taken care of.
Tasers and body cameras.
So basically,
About 1,400 each.
police chief wish list.
Yeah, I sat down with him, he's gonna give me the idea of what he needs, the pictures and the type and everything, and I'll go out and beg and borrow. So I just need council permission.
So do we need a vote or just a verbal agreement that he can proceed?
Well, make a record, probably a brief motion.
I make that motion.
Authorize Phil Bromhart to go out and try to procure money for tasers and body cameras.
Police department fees.
Police department, you mean police department needs, not necessarily just two things, but police department needs. I'll second that.
Motion McCarthy. Seconded by McCool. Everybody understand the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
One more, DPW, there's been several breaks because the ground freezing and shifting of the earth. And next month, they'll be looking at rate increases if there's a study now. So be in attendance if you want to know what's going on.
Rate increases, is that what
We're
you're
studying it.
Studies for rate increases, they'll be discussing it next month.
Okay. In the March 17th, 2016 issue of the Image, there was a BPW announcement there on the front page that said no rate increases. That's been less than a year ago. So what's causing the rate increase now?
I don't think there's any single thing, combination of things.
Well, here it projected that the rate increases that were made at the last hearing we had were sufficient to carry the Board of Public Works for quite some time. So I'm just curious for the citizens why we need rate increases now less than a year later.
Well, our contractor, Tony Lierder, who's the expert in this area, would probably like.
Well, I'd be curious to hear that
Please
answer.
Don't make me explain.
Actually, it's not been determined. We need to do a rate study. We had $300,000 left over from the SRF program that was done in 2007. And with that money, we've been paying our bond payments, our principal. So once that money's gone, basically our bond payment goes up by, our expense goes up by about $9,000 a month. And that money disappeared in December. So starting in January, we're now paying more because we're paying it all. Now, this all kind of went in coordination with the opportunity of Kingsville. If we had allowed Kingsville to make a formal presentation to us to begin negotiations for Kingsville, the opportunity to sell our services to the city of Kingsville, that would have offset this. But that's been shut down. And so
By who, sir?
that's not by the city of Kingsville.
And
They sent you a letter. Would you like me to read it?
no, I've got the letter, but no one has told them we could not reopen negotiations. In fact, the council last month directed me, and I did that, and Mr. Stever and I met last Thursday and had this dialogue that the door was open for negotiations.
I believe there's a condition in that.
I'll read the letter.
Well, no, the letter's out of order. I asked about water increases.
That's what I had before.
No, you're out of order. Either answer the question, Kingsville issue is not pertinent to our discussion.
This letter's not pertinent. You just asked me who ceased the negotiations. Number one,
Mr.
there
Stever
were
did
no
not,
negotiations. There hadn't been a proposal made yet.
that is true, but so
We
the
were
door
waiting
was
for
reopened
proposal.
for negotiations, of which they are choosing not to, based on information they
Via
got
this
from
letter.
you and
No,
guiding them
no, that's
toward
not true.
this.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not, sir.
Well, I beg to disagree because Mr. Stever in my conversation
I
alluded
have
to the
Mr.
fact that
Stever's
the door
signature
was
right here.
open for
Would you like to hear his
negotiations.
opinion?
Pardon?
Mr. Stever's signature is right here. Would you like to hear his
Well, I've
opinion?
seen that, and I've read the letter.
With the rest of the.
I'd like to hear. I'd like to
I
hear.
don't,
it.
we don't
I'd
hear
like
it.
to hear. it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and read it.
You asked me to give him
No,
first,
it's
here.
Introduction, Mayor. This is a letter to Mayor Edwards from Mayor Stevers. Mayor, I first met you at the CFC banquet where I congratulated you on your election as the mayor of Holden. Next meeting in the Edwards home, you were very gracious to my family and my friends. We toured your home on the Christmas Homes Tour. We enjoyed it very much. There's a bold statement here, recent Holden image statement. In your thank you ad recently you said, those expressing collusion and false allegations have their agenda. Let me tell you about the folks. I met Sam Raver 58 years ago, first day I went to work at Skull Specialty. He had a drafting table about 10 feet from my desk. We've been friends ever since. Mike Price lived in Kingsville for many years before moving to Holden and was a responsible neighbor.
And I shared with the Board of Public Works, and Mr. Nipko and Mr. McDaniels were on the board at that time. And the discussion that was to be held was, can we get on city sewer? I've been told by Mr. Lerda it'll cost $15,000 to $30,000 to get on. So I was there to find out if this was for real, because I found out later in the ordinance that if you're over 100 feet from the connect, you don't have to get on. But he was trying to lead me in a direction that
That's a
it
lie.
would cost me $15,000 to $30,000.
That's a lie.
That is not a lie.
May I speak?
No, I'm going to finish this, and you can finish after I speak. And so that was my opening to the welcome wagon to Holden. And it's been a grudge with Mr. Lerda since that time that he has chosen to influence two past BPW members to his thinking against me and Mr. Raver also. So we have 1, 2, 3 past BPW members on the council now that have an allegiance to Mr. Lerda. And that's fine, but it's become personal. And it's been personal from day one. And that's why we have the situation that we do now. I will be not held in high esteem by at least 3 people on this council because of their past allegiance, and only because I have brought forth facts. We have a gang up. We have a pile on to get rid of the mayor so that he will be silent. And I guess it's my problem that I'm not silent because of it. I've said over and over, transparency, truthfulness, openness is what I stand for. I see a hand in the audience.
Yes, we have a council member who is strict on ordinances, but who did not share that ordinance with us when we came to that Board of Public Works meeting. We did not have to hook on to city sewer because of the distance from our hookup to where ours is, because it's across the road in another neighbor's backyard.
400 feet.
So we did not have to. But the councilman who is so adamant about ordinances did not seem to know that one at that time. We have not regretted having hooked on. That is not the issue. But it seems to be going backwards here. What's good for one is okay for is not good for the other. And I don't regret that we're on the sewer system. That's not an issue with us. We gladly pay that fee. That's not an issue. But we did not have to hook on, and that was not shared with us, and I want everyone here to know. And as Rick said, that was our welcoming wagon to a town that we want to spend many years in. But it was not a welcoming wagon.
May I?
Yes.
The issue here about connecting your house to the sewer, you didn't speak to me at all. We didn't speak.
We had phone call after phone call after phone call.
No, we didn't. Your real estate agent called me.
Tony, we had phone
You're
calls.
interrupting me.
That's right, because you're
You sat there.
lying. You are
You calling me
lying.
a liar?
Yes, I am.
All right.
We had phone call after
Point
phone
of
call.
order. We need to stop. Point of order, we're all subject in the fight.
Okay, listen.
Go away.
You call,
Yeah, go, this is
What
nonsense.
We asked
I'm not
for,
allowed
He's
to
a
speak.
citizen, does he not have a right to speak?
They have a right to speak, but when they tell the truth. We need to check phone records?
yeah.
Okay.
Check whatever you like.
I'm certainly willing to
Now,
do
may I finish
that.
my statement? Do you have that much courtesy?
Well, as soon as she finishes hers,
as
yes.
I said, we did contact O&M to do a inspection on the septic tank, which we had access to at that time. And they agreed that it needed work. And then that's when the pressure came to hook on the city sewer.
And when we walked in-
We were in contact with O&M. I don't know if it was you or who, but I'm sure, because I didn't make the actual phone call. But we were in contact with O&M several times because we wanted an inspection and we wanted it to be done correctly. Because we wanted to know if it worked or what the issues were. And I believe Mr. Mason was involved in this particular inspection and some of the transactions regarding this. So it wasn't that we did not make the efforts. We made all the efforts to move here and do the correct thing. Okay, and then you're right, we're told this tremendous amount. I mean, who's going to take on a job that ranges 15 to 30,000?
And also, when we walked into the BPW meeting that night and made this presentation about finding out about getting on the sewer, what was the reaction of the contractor? Take me out of this. I don't want to be involved. No, take me out. Is that right, Mr. Nipko? Do you recall that, or do we have amnesia?
I do not recall.
I'm sure you don't.
However,
Mr.
the minutes
McMahon.
might reflect it.
I recall exactly what happened, and the real estate agent was trying to strong arm the Board of Public Works into paying for your upgrade on your sewer, and with public monies, that's not acceptable.
Well, that was an option that we explored. That was not a strong arm.
May I speak?
Okay, yes.
You're correct. You did call O&M for an inspection. That's what we do. It takes a certified inspector. And we're one of the few around. And usually when a house trades hands, that's when they require that inspection. And Dennis came out. The cost for that inspection is typically $450. Dennis came out to do the inspection, and he saw that you had a septic tank on the neighbor's property.
We had easement to it.
Well, it doesn't matter. By regulation, you can't have your septic tank on the neighbor's property. So he was asked, he said, well, I'm not going to charge you for an inspection, it's just going to fail. So he was asked, what can we do? And he gave you three options. He said, you can buy the property where the septic system is, or you can build a septic system on your property, or you can connect to city sewer. Now, I'm not even in the picture at this time. Following that, I got a call from your real estate agent who said, Tony, what will it cost to hook this house on to sewer? And I said, well, that's not an easy question to answer. The sewer is a half a block away and across the highway. There's a lot of issues that have to be researched. And she threw a little fit and said, you're just putting us off again, like you always do. And I said, no, I'm not. That's like me coming in and saying to you, I want to buy a house, what will it cost? How many bedrooms do you want? Well, I don't care, I just want to know what a house costs. Well, there's a lot to every project, every construction project. And I'm thinking, well, if I can find an easement and I can run a service line across here, $10,000. And I told her. But if I have to extend the main down the street a half a block and across the highway, $35,000. I said somewhere between $10,000 and $35,000. She forced me to say that. Following that meeting, I went to work, and I contacted MoDOT to see what it would cost across the highway. I looked at the last jobs that we did extending sewer mains, see what the cost was of manholes and all the things that you have to do to extend a sewer main. And I was over there, and the ordinance said that you can't run a service line across property of others, or down alleys, or down streets, and all of this type of thing. And I am urgent to help you. I wanted to make it as good of a move in Holden as I possibly could. So I was standing on site, and I looked, and there was a power line going between two houses across the road from you. So I know that there's an easement there, a utility easement. So technically, it's an easement, an existing easement. I called KCP&L. I said, you have an easement at this location. Would you mind if we ran a sewer line down that easement, a pressurized sewer line, because we'd have to pump it? And they said, sure, no problem, go ahead. So then I went to MoDOT to get the permit to cross the highway. In fact, I had the permit at the time that we had our discussion. So I go and get the permit from MoDOT to cross the highway. I lined up a boring machine to bore the whole thing in. I priced out all of the pumping, all of the parts, and I went back to your real estate agent and I said $13,000. And I left out any profits for the company. I was urgently trying to help this agent. She's a good business person in Holden, a good neighbor, and you were a new customer in Holden, and I was trying to serve you. I didn't hear back from her. 2 or 3 weeks later, the three of you show up at the board meeting, throwing me under the bus, saying that I was standing in your way and bullying you and all of this.
Oh, I don't think so.
That's what was happening.
No, that's
And
a-
I
that's
said,
different.
and then she said, well, after all the conversation, she said, well, when can you get started? And I said, I'm not going to do this project. Well, why? And I said, because I came to you as a contractor to help you. We're in here in this meeting now, and I'm the superintendent of the utility. You've made it a conflict of interest. And I said to her, you pick any contractor you want, and I will give them all of my research and my permits to do this job. And that's what happened.
I believe the mayor pro tem at that meeting is the one that gave us names of contractors to get the work done, and we got it done for less.
I didn't give you any names of contractors. I'm not saying I did that. I said, you pick your contractor. I don't care where you get it from. I will help them all that I can. And that's what I did. And you have been attacking me ever since, and every person and individual and organization that I'm affiliated with. And you've upset everything in the city and it's stopped. Literally, we're going backwards.
Your story's very interesting.
The
It's
only
not
reason
as
I
I
ran for
recall.
mayor was to run me out of Holden.
Thank you.
Now, what was the prior issue I was speaking on for you?
I don't remember.
The rate increase.
The rate increase. More important than anything that's been said here tonight, one of the challenges in our community is the customer base. We have multiple opportunities right now. Jim Gilchrist is at a point of completing a prototype and marketing a new machine that may bring employment into town. Some of the issues downtown that go along with our chamber and with our Main Street efforts and our tax base and opportunities for homeless veterans that may at some time come here looking for a job, require that employment. That's when people go to work in town, they go downtown and buy lunch, they go and order some flowers to pick up after lunch to take home on their anniversary. All of those things happen.
I have a comment about that when you're finished.
Okay. Our empty homes has been brought up before. We know it, we feel it. It doesn't change the cost of doing business. It costs as much to maintain these streets, whether they're going by an occupied home or an empty home. It costs as much to maintain these water mains and these sewer mains, whether it's going by an occupied home or an empty home. It costs as much for those patrolmen to work these streets in the same fashion. Once a community decides to have a public utility, it has to be kept up by regulation. Strict regulations. We don't have the choice to drive by a broken water main. We can drive by a pothole, but we can't drive by water squirting out of the ground. We don't have the choice to ignore backed up sewer. We don't have a choice not to meet the ammonia regulations that we just spent $1.6 million for. We don't have that choice. But we just had an opportunity to expand our customer base. And that customer, believe you me, I worked hard to make that sell. I worked hard to say to those people exactly what you said a while ago. Mayors are temporary, they come and go. I worked hard to say that I'm going to, that this system can take your can provide your service more affordably than anything else. And this customer base included Stoll Specialty, a place of employment where jobs are provided. It was an opportunity for Holden to help Stolls keep their utility rates down. And the engineer for that group has to provide something to the state, and he has to, on his integrity, say to that council, I have a viable plan here for a lot of years to help keep these rates down. It's trustworthy. And their engineer said that. He said, you know, I would be wrong to tell you that something would work, I would be wrong to tell you that something would work and then turn around in a year and you have to go somewhere else. Or it doesn't work and it goes foul. And he said, you know, the only reason, and this is after they attended your public hearing or your town hall or whatever, and they saw the way they were treated. He said, the only reason that Holden has this ability to serve us this is O&M Enterprises. And there's an effort in Holden to remove them. And if they do, the cost would be detrimental to this project. And that's what made their decision, was the effort that's coming from your office to run me out of Holden, and has been for the last several years.
Give me some proof and I'll believe your story.
So when we lose this opportunity, the opportunity is still on the table by the letter. But under this watch right here, Holden's either going to grasp an opportunity and the community of Western Johnson County is going to prosper, or it's going to go away under this watch. And people are trying to point the finger at me, but no, I really, really tried
I
to
don't
bring this
point the
opportunity.
finger at you, I point the finger at all of you. Because Holden is not a welcoming town. I can recount on one hand the people that walked up to me when we moved here and started going to church here, that walked up to me and introduced themselves and said, welcome. Not one. You're not a welcoming town, and that's got to change for this town to move forward.
I second that.
Well, I will say, effective 31 March and beyond, I have been welcomed by many people.
You're a local though that came back.
I wasn't from here.
Mayor, honestly, I'm not all of those things that you think I am, and I honestly tried to help you in your situation when you moved here. But I've received nothing but lies and criticism
Same here.
from City
It's
Hall
mutual.
from you. That's not good.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm in a group
All right.
of a lot of good people that you're calling.
Out of order, let's get to the water issue or
Thank you.
whatever. Thank you. Any other comment? Well, no, it's not a comment. Okay, reports of committees, we finished, I believe, okay? Now we're for appropriations. We've had a chance to review them. Any questions on any of them? If not, I will entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Christensen, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Thomas. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We do have a need for an executive session under real estate acquisition, revised statute number 610.021, number 2. We will take a 5-minute break and, okay, that's right, need a motion. Motion.
Can I add to that personnel matters? Go into executive session. I make that a motion.
Yes. It's on there. Okay. Number 3.
I'd make a motion based on the information Mayor Edwards spoke, that we'll go into closed session for real estate and personal matters.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Parkin,
Yes.
Sitewell,
Yes.
Rayburn,
Yes.
McDaniel,
Yes.
Christensen,
Yes.
Pimco,
Yes.
Hollis,
Yes.
Weeds.
Okay, 5-minute recess. We'll reconvene.